What is everyone? Welcome back to another Gunpla review, and today I'm taking a look at this right here. And of course, this is Niels Nielsen's Ninpulse Gundam from Gundam Build Fighters. Of course, this is a high grade, just like it says up there in the corner of the box. And in case you're curious, this will put you back about 2,000 yen. That is the recommended price written on the side of the box. But this right here cost me 1,600 yen at my local electronics store. Also, on the front of the box right there, you'll see that there are two Gundam Build Fighters projects going on right now. The one on the left there is the new OVA Gundam Build Fighters GM no Gyakushu. That's the GM's counterattack. And this, I'm pretty sure, is what this mobile suit is from. We see it for a brief second in the trailer. If you haven't seen that yet, then make sure to head over to Bandai's channel to check it out. And of course, the other one over there is Gundam Build Fighters Batlog. And that is going on right now. The first episode came out last Friday. I'm not sure if the next one will come out this week or not. It may be up by the time I mention this, but make sure to check out Bandai's channel again for that one. That basically is the absolute essence of Gundam Build Fighters. It's just custom Gunpla versus custom Gunpla, and just seems so cool. They're all considered short little self-contained episodes, and it seems pretty cool so far. It's up here on YouTube. I watched it in Japanese, but I'm pretty sure there should be an English or a subbed version somewhere, but make sure, of course, to check that out. And in case you're curious as to what Ninpulse Gundam means, so that kanji right there at the beginning is Nin from ninja, and it's also the Shi from Shinobi. I also assume that the Pulse is from Impulse, so this is a Ninja Impulse Gundam. At least that's what I think so far. And because this is Niels Nielsen's Gundam, that means of course this is the follow-up to the Sengoku Astray. So I am considering scrapping the unboxing videos because I feel unboxing Gunpla is a little bit on the boring side, so I'm just going to throw it into the review right now. Let's take a look. So there's the first side of the box. So what we're seeing here seems to be one of the Ninpulse Gundam's main weapons, and this is Tenku Jijiken. And so far we can see we do get an included stand in here, which is awesome. Next in here then we have the Gen-A Kochoken, and we've got some more clear parts in there and more information about the backpack. Let's flip around to the other side. There is the front and the back of the kit, as well as some mouth beam saber action in the bottom. And last up there is the information about the mobile suit itself. You can pause that now and read that at your own leisure, but now let's get this thing out of the box. So the first thing we have in here is the manual. We've got some more information on the pilot as well as the mobile suit. Pause that now if you want to read it. Round here on the back, we've got some more information then. Some information on the mobile suit it's based on, which is the Force Impulse, which means I would love a master grade of this. It would be so simple for them to do. But because this series is aimed at kids, it's not so likely. The Sengoku Astray there was really popular, so there is that little bit of hope, but I wouldn't hold my breath. Next up then we've got the information on the weapons, which is the Heaven's Cross Sword, the wings, the Phantom Butterfly Sword, as well as the battle style. And then we've got the color guide, as well as the high grade lineup. We also have a bunch of stuff that we saw last week, as well as 1, 2, 3, 4 bags of runners. In this kit we get a grand total of 9 runners, an included stand, as well as the little set of foils. Thankfully this is tiny, and really is just for those shiny little green parts. As for the runners, 6 of which are reused from 2016's high grade Impulse Gundam, and 3 of which are brand new for this kit, and so far, the color separation on here is looking really, really nice. And of course, if you want to see this kit being put together, then make sure to check out my speed build video. So there is what the Ninpulse Gundam looks like out of the box with minimum effort. I've done nothing to remove the nubs, and I've done only very minimal panel lining. There isn't really a whole lot of panel lining opportunities on this, there's not a whole lot of surface detail here. But keeping all of that in mind, it does look spectacular. Seam lines for the most part aren't really present, but we do have 2 very large ones around the thighs here. This would have been left over from the Force Impulse Gundam, but that's a lot easier to clean up on white than it is on a color like this. For the most part, the nubs on here aren't all that bad. There are a few that show up, but they'll be super easy to clean up. Also, of course, I would recommend chopping off these little safety nubs up on the top there, so you can get some nice sharp angles like what you can see there on the box art. Overall, the color separation in here is fantastic, and you pretty much get exactly what is in the concept art. The only real difference I could point out is these tiny little silver parts on those chest Vulcans, but besides that, everything else is perfect. As for colors, the gold is that kind of gaudy gold-infused plastic Bandai uses. It doesn't look too bad if you add a little bit of panel lining on there, but some, if not most of you, will want to paint this a nicer shade of gold. We've also got a nice bit of clear green in the chest, light grey down there on the feet, a slightly darker frame on the joint sections as well as the waist there, and of course that main color, that maroon, is split into 2 different shades, a lighter shade and a darker shade. Lastly, the body on this thing definitely screams Force Impulse, but that head is a 100% throwback to the Sengoku Astray. As for the articulation, there's the head up and down, side to side tilt, and spin all the way around. The arm all the way up. We have a very nice joint in here, which is not the same as the one from the Force Impulse. this is a plastic part, not a polycap. The arm all the way around, rotation here, elbow bend, this moving part on the wrist, and your standard ball and socket for the hand. Ab crunch, forward and back, side to side, that can spin all the way around, front skirt, side skirt up, forward and back, nothing on the butt flap, leg to the front, to the back, splits, rotation, knee bend, thruster moves up and down, ankle armor up and down. At the ankle we've got forward and back inside here, ball joint at the ankle, and the toes can move down, but not up. So there is the Nimpulse Gundam with everything that it comes with. We also get this beam rifle left over from the Force Impulse. This isn't technically an accessory for this kit, so we won't be talking about that. First up, we do have an included stand, which is awesome. The two Gen-A Kochuken, or Phantom Butterfly swords, which attach into the forearms like this and can flip forward. Next up then we have the Power Axe that can fold out like this, can attach into the hand like that, and that can fold up and attach onto the rear skirting armor for storage. We also have this clear green effect part that can pop into the lower handle of the Power Axe, and that is made out of a bendable material, but to be honest, I don't know how long that will last before breaking. It's also worth noting that the tip right here is not color accurate, as it should be black, so you will need a little bit of black paint. Next up then is the Tenku Jujiken, and of course this is the absolute main event of this mobile suit. Plenty of those awesome typical Build Fighters clear effect parts on there, and this is a weapon, a backpack, and a shield. There's a clear green effect part in here which is a base adapter that attaches on here on this little piece, and using that can be attached onto the stand, just like so. So there is what it looks like attached onto the back as a backpack, and I have to say that is pretty awesome. This whole backpack has a lot of impressive articulation. The section that attaches into the back has one joint here, as well as a second joint right there, and all of these individual sections have a ton of articulation as well. Move that little piece out of the way, and in here you can see that these parts are attached on here so they can move up and down. We've also got a standard peg joint there that lets that rotate. These sections here, the ones with the green clear part, they have that same little joint there but are on a ball joint up here, so you get even more out of those. So by moving these smaller sections up like that, then the larger sections up, clipping those into the smaller sections, using these little pegs in there, and that gets you the weaponized format of that, which is pretty cool and looks like a massive shuriken. Once again, you can attach this little segment on there and attach that onto the stand to pose it as if it had just been thrown. So that is pretty cool. So last up then for the shield mode, pop that all off there, disconnect these all over again, open up that hole in the center, off with its head, make sure you have the backpack on there, and you're going to reconnect that back on there one more time. Finally then, back on with the head. And that right there is what that looks like, fully attached. As for negative points, there really isn't a whole lot there, but it does share one thing in common with the Sengoku Astray, and of course that is that big crest of a V-fin, and that falls off pretty much all the time. Mainly though, just because it's so big. So that is it for the review, and this right here is another solid Build Fighters kit. I have absolutely nothing to say negative about this at all. The weapons are so cool, from that variable backpack weapon to those awesome Tonfa-ish blades on the forearms in clear green. Its build is absolutely solid. The head might rock around a little bit, but not too much. It would have been nice to see some expressive hands in here as well, but hey, Bandai does that to us all the time. At least we got a stand. However, when I do throw it up on the shelf with the rest of my collection, as you can see, it's an extremely dark mobile suit. It is meant to be a ninja, so that does make sense, but it's not gonna make a big impression up there with the rest of your collection. It's a very simple build, but the finished product is quite complex, so this is definitely an awesome kit for both beginners and advanced builders alike. And the final word is, it does get the Mecha Gaikotsu seal of approval. Definitely an awesome kit. But anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you'd like to see more content like this. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, make sure to come back for more Gunpla reviews. See you next time.